Showtime!
And welcome back, all you boils and ghouls and corpses crew, to another exciting episode of Habeas Corpses, which we are 1 week behind.
Actually, we're not. We had an episode and we scrapped it. So
So we are. Whether or not we recorded an episode, we're a week behind for the listeners because we scrapped the episode.
We're a week behind for them, but not for ourselves.
And we scrapped the episode because the episode sucked. And we still have the same title of the episode up here.
You didn't tell me to change it.
Well, that's okay because we're
gonna list some movies today.
We did do an episode on Schindler's List, which was good, but it was just not.
It was too serious.
Yeah, it wasn't
all night that night. Marcus was like, "I don't know."
I was just like, dude,
I just feel like
way
we fucked
too
up.
Serious. We watched Schindler's List. Terrible movie.
No, excellent movie. Terrible things that happen.
Yeah, terrible movie choice for this show.
There you go. There's
no fun in that movie.
There's not. There's a little bit of joy in the end when some people didn't die.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And I'll give you guys a little bit of a back.
There's also some fun because there's a lot of making out because Schindler was a horny bastard.
Why is that fun? There's no making out in that movie.
He's always like,
oh, get out of here. Well, Oscar Schindler, I'll give you a little
there
bit
was tongue in there.
I'll give you a little bit of backstory before we move on from this. Oscar Schindler was not a perfect dude.
Is there such thing as a perfect man?
No. But I mean, and the movie does a slight job at portraying that in the very beginning, but he was kind of a horn dog. He actually was a Nazi. He was a spy in the very, very early days of the party. And then he came to some realization in his head, I think, some morality came over him. He was like, you know what? I got to save these people. So that was the very interesting aspects we looked up on Oscar Schindler. And there's a lot of things in that movie they left out, that the movie's already graphic and horrible. But things that happened at that actual camp with that German, I forget his name.
Eamon Goeth.
Yeah, Eamon Goeth, who he actually trained his dogs to eat the Jewish people. Like, this guy was terrible. And he's terrible in the movie, but he is more terrible in real life. So maybe, I think I still have the audio recording of that episode. Maybe we'll release it on Patreon, but it was just, we weren't in our flow, and you just totally could tell. And I was like, I'm not putting this crap out. So we skipped it. But before that, we had done 2 episodes for the week before. So we're kind of still on track. And then we came out during that same episode. Why it's called The List is because we listed some recommendations of movies we think should be shown in every high school in America. Mine were American History X because it shows a modern day racist culture and how you can fall prey to that, and how those things that exist are terrible and they still do exist.
Mm-hmm.
And my other film was Requiem for a Dream because it shows the dangers of addiction, not only through drugs, but the movie's a little dated because it's more like for television. So, but I could akin that to kids getting obsessed with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and becoming viral sensations. And then what were your 2 films?
My first one was The Dead Poets Society, because that movie does a really great job of showing that, like, although there's certain things in life that are definitely important, like careers and things that you need to survive, there's other things in life that you need to survive, like art and love and romance and of course poetry, because it's, literature.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that movie also focuses on the power of friendship as well and how important that is too. So I think that should be shown in every high school because those are important things that we don't know. We harp so hard on us well, high schoolers to figure out what the fuck they want to be when they grow up, and we don't ever talk about what do you want to do, like who do you want to be other than a doctor or
other than your career choice.
Who do you want to be,
Yeah.
And then my other movie is Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion.
I can't remember. Why did you recommend that one?
Because it's also about friendship, but it's about like you don't have to grow up and live the traditional life to be happy. You don't, specifically for girls, you don't have to grow up and get married and have a lot of babies and be beautiful and to have a happy life. You can live simply or what and in that movie specifically it's about two women who were best friends all throughout school, and they moved to this city that they fell in love with, and they share an apartment and they work basic jobs and they make their own clothes and they have a ton of fun together, and that's what's important. And so it's just like to help overcome like the mean girls specifically for in the girl like world, and that you can live a non-traditional life and still be completely happy and fulfilled, and that's okay.
What do you think of that, Gizmo?
Gizmo's like, I wish that those two would settle the fuck down.
That's what
because
I was
second Dad hit record, squeak, squeak, squeak.
That's what I was just gonna say. Would you kick those two? Yes, no more fighting on the podcast episode. Oh, man. But we can literally use this title, The List, and continue with this because one thing we have done is we've watched a list of movies, and I think we're just going to kind of share some of those with you guys, starting with one that we were told to watch by one of our friends, Tammy. It's really good. It's excellent.
It's the last time I take any of Tammy's recommendations.
And it was on Hulu. It was made for Hulu, streaming on Hulu. I think it was produced by Jason Blum.
Yeah, anything produced by him sucks.
No, it doesn't. Get out of here.
The last couple things that have said produced by Jason Blum, I was like, oh, that fucking blue balls.
Well, this is why. Because he has so much money. He's just giving money to anyone who's got a solid... Like, he says that.
They don't even have to be solid movie ideas. If anybody has a movie idea, well, I'm going to go to Jason Blum.
You should write
but at least my movie
a proposal, and he'll give you some money to get it made. And it was called Shut Those Guys Up.
Why did you put him back on the floor?
Because those were the ones that were fighting earlier.
Charlie will find anybody. Pick Gizmo. No, you got to pick Gizmo back up. Pick him up. I can't pick him up. I can't have you both.
Charlie's like
Charles Van Damme. Charlie Horse. You're a pain in my ass. That's why that's your name.
But
fucking
it's
toddlers.
Uncanny Annie is the film.
Mm-hmm.
And this, in a nutshell, Uncanny Annie is
it's a board game. Picture Candyland.
No, it's Jumanji.
Yeah.
It's the adult version. Well, not the adult version.
It's the dying version.
No, it's the
murderous.
It's the 15 to 20-year-old version of Jumanji, where these late teens, I actually think they're college aged kids.
They are college aged.
And they're gonna have this party.
Okay, if anybody wants to know what it's like to have a fucking toddler.
This episode's going to get scratched, too.
No, it's not.
Shenanigans with dogs going on in this
Well, you know
room
what?
right
Don't lick the inside of my mouth.
But in Uncanny Annie, basically...
That's your dad's job.
It's Jumanji with college kids, and the board game is trying to kill you. There's this ghost Uncanny Annie, which is not even explained where she comes from. There's no backstory.
She's not a ghost. She's a game thing. She's like a game demon.
Yeah.
But we did not plan that.
No.
That just happened.
I can't plan this episode. It's all so random. And now Baird's using my jacket as a... He's like, this looks good enough.
If there's a scrap of fabric on the floor that he thinks may be comfortable, he will. Yesterday, guess where he laid in the bathroom? On one of my socks.
Really? He's like, this is a sock right here. This will provide enough warmth over that cold pile.
Yeah.
But to give credit where it's due, Uncanny Annie was actually very entertaining for the first 30, 45 minutes. I was actually really getting
I
into
was
it.
also enjoying it.
And then, and movies suffer from this lately. They don't know how to end them.
Yeah, we've seen so many movies where we're like,
Because there's another
what
movie.
was that?
Yes.
You had such a strong... Jason Blum, stop giving people money whose fucking endings suck.
No, they're probably really good. And he's like, I have one condition. You have to change the ending. And they're like, I thought the ending was really good. Nope, it's got to suck even worse.
Think about the ending of Halloween. Think about how terrible that was. Halloween Kills. That was really bad,
yes,
right?
Yes, there's another one that was terrible.
Definitely make a shitty ending and then I'll give you some money. Leave the viewers so unsatisfied.
Yeah, I know.
It's like where you're being intimate with your partner and you're about to,
And then you leave them hanging.
And then you get up and go have a drink of water instead.
Is that directed at me?
No.
Oh.
Have you ever done that?
No, that's what I was about to say. I was like, what are you doing?
I was just trying to think of like what could be similar.
Oh, okay. But yeah.
Look at how serious Charlie's taking this now.
He's calmed down. But
He's like, I would like a set of headphones and a microphone.
We'll set you up right here. He had the same opinion of Uncanny Annie. But yeah, it just the board game's killing people, and basically, it's a game with rules. Think of like Truth or Dare. That's what it is in a board game. And if you don't complete the task, then there's a task that comes after you.
Yeah.
And it's there's two things, an evil Joker
it's kind
ghost.
of like life.
And then there's death itself that come after you. That's the only two characters they really introduce in the game.
Yeah.
Besides Uncanny Annie, who just randomly like hands the game to the girl in the closet or basement or whatever. She's like, "Ooh, what's this game?" You go play it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was really enjoyable until the end. But the ending of this film ruined the whole film for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I was like, okay, this just sucks. The next movie that we watched was Ma. This movie also has a terrible ending.
But it didn't ruin the whole movie.
Exactly. Because the ending is so rushed that I'm like, what?
That was a really bad ending.
Was this written to end this way, or did you guys run out of funds? Or
I almost wonder if they had an original ending and like Jason Blum didn't like it because that was one of his movies too.
Was it? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Well, it had a shitty ending, Marcus. You should have known. Duh.
Ended by Jason Blum.
Midsummer was not a Jason Blum film. That's why we didn't mind the ending.
Well, yeah.
Strong start, weak finish.
On this film?
On every Jason Blum film.
Yeah.
It's like when you're racing, you need to you shouldn't just right from the beginning. You need to
Now hang on. Halloween Kills was as much as that film has a lot of problems, and I don't enjoy Halloween Kills. That was strong start, strong finish. That was like snort a line and then do some blow and take 7 rock stars, and that's the movie, man. From start to finish, that movie doesn't let up, and that was that movie's problem.
I didn't like the ending of Halloween Kills.
I didn't like Halloween Kills at all. I tried to watch it again.
I know Marcus was like, "Go ahead and buy me this movie," and I was like, "Bet me you did."
Yeah, but I was like, it's got extended scenes. It's got
maybe it'll be better. No, those just made it worse, longer, and worse.
You didn't watch it though. Some of the extended scenes are just very awkward. Like, there's this scene in the morgue that's just like, what is going on right now? For those of you guys who've seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone else, but it just awkward scenes. You're like, when you see those scenes that are cut from films that they put into films, and you're like, why did you cut this? This is so cool. Like, they probably cut it for time saving, or maybe they thought they were going to offend some audience member, or they cut it because it wouldn't get a theatrical release. It would have given them an X rating, something of that nature. Mm-hmm. These scenes were cut like, you cut this because it was the shit. And now you're just putting it back in as like special features. Look at all our junk to a junk movie. And that's how the gag reel was too. Like it was sort of funny, but I was like, some of this gag reel seems really forced. Like they're like, so we're doing a Blu-ray DVD release of this, and we're gonna call it special edition. We gotta put some special shit in here. So you guys screw up on camera a little bit, try so we can make a gag reel. But the other special features were pretty cool. They had some makeup special features and stuff like that. I told you about those, right?
Nope.
Yeah, where I learned because I never.
Oh,
knew this
yeah, you
about
did tell me that.
films where they film in reverse and then re-reverse it for forward and whatever film lingo. I don't know and I don't understand. But you do it backwards, and then when you play it, it looks like the knife goes in his eye, but it was really taken away from his eye. And it was a real prosthetic, so that was cool. But for the most part, Halloween Kills was not a good movie. It was a fun movie for a one-time watch when it comes to seeing people get killed, die, and maim.
So now people know not to buy the extended features. But if they want to know what we think about it, they should go listen to that episode. We're going to talk about
Yes.
Ma.
Yeah, I'm getting back there. Ma, terrible ending in a film, like so rushed. But when I picked it up at the library, I was like, I remember seeing the previews. And
I remember being like, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, it looked like some...
Like when you put it on, I was like, oh, I'm not going to like this.
But then it like sucked you in because it was very dynamic and it made you... It was a movie that was good at doing character development on all sides.
Mm-hmm.
From the kids to the parents to Ma herself. Because you almost see everyone's side. You're like this arbitrator, like, I can see your side. I can see why you want to kill the motherfuckers. And the only innocent ones are the kids.
And they're the ones getting screwed over the most.
Why? By getting free booze?
Well, they're going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, I guess that one lady did get run over, but...
Yeah, well, she was rude.
She
Misty.
sucked.
Wasn't her name Misty or something in the film?
No, it was an M name, but it wasn't Misty. God, that's
I swear it was Misty.
No,
Yes,
it was Mercedes.
Oh, yeah, it was Mercedes. That's it.
Because I hate that name, too. I'm like, ooh, you named your kid after a car? Or like when people are like, Bentley. I'm like, oh, why do you hate your kid so much?
Yeah, she slams it right into her old Ford truck. Bam! But the premise of Ma is you have a lonely mid-50s lady living out on the countryside.
I'd say she was actually in her 40s.
No.
Yeah, because those kids were only like 15, 16, 17 tops.
It's a house.
And the guy,
getting old.
They had made a comment about, oh, I haven't seen you in 15 years.
Okay, well, the actors, she's not.
But what I'm saying is the storyline is like 40s, not
No
50s.
way, because they refer to her as a grandma in one of the scenes.
Yeah, because
like,
kids are fucking
grandma.
rude. I had someone ask me if I was 100 years old once. A young child. Their kids are rude. Until you turn 18, you have no sense of numbers. You're like, that person over there, definitely 90 years old, and they're talking to you.
I still don't think as you age, you really have a concept of numbers until your number is kind of up.
I don't know. I'm having a good concept of numbers lately.
No.
I'm like,
no, because
25's a really grown-up number.
No, it's not. See, because like I think about that, I'm like, I'll be turning 32 here soon. And I'm like,
I'm 5 years old from being 30.
I'm not old though. Like when I look at it realistically, I felt a little old. I was looking at a job application in a state that on Zillow I found like a home that was really cool. So I was like, oh, I'll go to the job boards, and there was a job, and I clicked into it, and there was an age restriction. It was like, must be under the age of 35. I was like, what the fuck? I'm almost there.
Let's not be old as shit. After you're 35, you're worthless.
Well, no,
a disgusting piece
think
of
about that after
decaying
35.
trash.
It's like, holy shit.
You're
Like,
basically a corpse.
so I've
Gray hairs.
I've surpassed.
You have too many bad habits.
I've literally surpassed the age for military service. Like, I can't go into
and
the
then you're
military.
almost ancient.
And then I'm almost past.
Might as well retire.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But still, I don't. I used to consider myself old, but it's all a
week
concept
ago.
of numbers.
A week ago, you considered yourself old.
Yeah, and then I looked. And I started doing math. I'm like, man, I still got like 20 years before I'm 50. Almost. 18. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I only have 18 years before I'm 50. Holy shit.
Man, you're
Okay.
getting old.
I'm
Might
getting
as
up
well just throw yourself off a fucking bridge.
Well, that's kind of not something I want to do or even feel inclined to entertain. Like, I want to live as long as I can. Okay. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to be 32.
I'm
Might as
just
well just
teasing
kill
you.
myself.
I'm
Like,
just
no.
teasing you.
But in Ma, she is an aging woman with no friends, lives in the countryside, is a vet tech, I would say, or veterinary assistant
'Cause
head.
she ain't no tech.
Yes, she is. She's pulling out drugs and shit all the time in that movie.
I don't think she's supposed to be.
No, she is because the vet in the film before she kills the vet is constantly like, "Hey, will you shave him and will you do this and get him prepped?" That's a vet tech.
Oh, well.
And
She's the shittiest. I wouldn't want her taking care of my animals.
well, I wouldn't want her taking care of anything except my alcohol delivery needs because that girl knows what's up. And that's how she's kind of rope-a-doped into rope-a-dope. What is that term from? The old rope-a-dope. Is that like a boxing term or something?
Keep talking about this movie.
Look up rope-a-dope.
No.
Because I do not
the old rope-a-dope.
I don't know where it came from my brain. I know
Rope-a-dope.
like rope-a-dope means like you're roping
Yeah,
something
I'm
in,
sure
right?
it does.
Watch it be some like horrible slang that crept into my mind.
It's a boxing tactic.
Old rope-a-dope. Okay,
Old
cool.
rope-a-dope.
Must have got it from Rocky or something. But she's rope-a-doped into buying alcohol for teenagers.
No,
who
she's not.
Well, yeah, she is until I think she realizes who
That's what it is.
are.
She realizes who they are, so she's like, "Oh yeah."
Because she
I'll do
doesn't
that
want to
for you.
buy it until she sees who.
She's like, "What do you think I am, some stupid motherfucker?"
Yeah, and then she sees who's driving the car,
she's like-
and it's her long ago crush's son, and she's got some sexual
She's like, I'm gonna
fantasies
fucking kill you,
or something.
and I'm gonna
No,
fucking kill.
she wants to kill the dad. She wants to fuck the son.
Mm-hmm.
That's straight up kind of how it is until the very end. That almost happens, and she's like, "You're a liar," and stabs the son. Luckily, he doesn't die, but
I don't know. He was annoying and scrawny.
But it's cool because you see her plot this whole thing, and you're like, man, she's an evil bitch. Like, she is doing some evil stuff. But then on the flip side of that, you get her backstory too, because it does
And you're like, oh, she was really ruined.
yeah, like
Some people did
you
some
guys.
very terrible things to her.
Did she? It was they locked her. Well, she didn't get locked, but she agreed to meet her crush in a closet, a
A
utility
janitor's
closet,
closet or something.
to give her first blow job.
Which I'm like,
But then the crush wasn't the one that went. It
how
was
did I
some.
not know it was him. Like his voice.
Well, it was all dark. I don't know. She was.
Your
blonde
voice
with it.
changes in the dark.
No, I don't think he said. He doesn't say anything. He
Mm-hmm.
just comes in and she was like,
Yeah, I guess.
we'll just put the mic next to that motherfucker down there making all that noise.
Also, little sweethearts, if anybody ever writes you a
This
note to
guy.
meet them in a custodian closet after school, please go home and don't do that. Do anything but that.
You stop your sucking on Gizmo's fur down there. So that's what happens, and it literally ruins her in front of the whole school. Humiliation 101. And so this is her plot of revenge. But it doesn't really become a plot of revenge, though, until she meets her crush, who she thinks she's going on a semi-quasi date with.
I think she was still gonna like do something cruel to the kids,
Oh, really?
but I don't think because she was crazy. She was unstable.
Yeah, because
So I
she's
think-
keeping her own kid locked upstairs.
And she's like Munchausen by proxy
Yeah.
kind of a. So I think she was still gonna do something bad and cruel to them, but I think that sent her over the edge
Yeah,
even more.
because he's like, I have a fucking tracking device on my trucks, and my son has been going to your house. If you ever do this again, I'm coming after you. I would have been like, I'm coming after you right now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a pass on this. My son's been visiting your property multiple times, which in turn lies the problem with this film. The film is based in current today's standards, 2021, 2022. Every kid has a damn cell phone, a social media. They're blowing this stuff up, and no authorities are called. And these parties she's throwing for these kids first starts off as a little, I don't want you guys to go get, maimed, injured, killed out there being stupid, so just drink in my basement. And then
To
it goes
full
to
on ragers.
yeah, man.
I'm
Like,
on fireball.
no kidding, dude. And still no authorities show up till like
She's out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
it's till the last party, the last huge party, one cop shows up and he's like, there's a lot of stuff in your yard and some questionable things. And then she's like, well, my daughter, I got to get her to a doctor's appointment. He's like, oh, okay. I'm going to leave now. I'm not going to further question you about all this stuff.
It's paraphernalia.
Yeah. And then, like,
What friends do you have?
he hears a noise and she's straight up. It's like Misery. You've seen Misery. It's the same thing. Here's the noise and bam, she just blasts him. But yeah, that's it. It's basically I don't want to call it a rape revenge film, but it's a sexual revenge film because that's what they humiliate her with, sex.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's after not only the dad that did this, but all of his counterparts. We said she runs over Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the interesting thing was how she kills the dad with, I think she
slits his wrist.
Slits his
bleeds
wrist,
out.
but and then she's pumping him full of animal blood.
Yeah.
Because she kills a dog too.
Yeah.
Or no, she takes that dog's blood
Well, I think he probably died.
and then kills the vet. She goes kind of nuts the last half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or last quarter of the movie, to where you sympathize with her all the way up to.
I didn't.
I do. I feel bad for what
I
they
was like,
did.
that's sad what happened, but fuck, you turned out real crazy.
Well, yeah. But surprisingly,
You could have taken that and turned yourself into a really good person. You let it manifest for the rest of your life.
well, some people do that.
Man.
That is life itself.
Well,
I'm looking at you, Lacey. Some
you
people
can
do that.
fuck off. This episode's done. We're done.
I'm joking. What do you have you internalized something that bad? I don't think you've internalized anything. Were you pushed into a locker when you were a kid? No. Okay, then what the fuck? What are you getting so pissed off about?
I don't know.
You
Hurt my
make fun of
feelings.
me all the time.
Hurt my feelings.
You're so full of shit. Anyways, Ma, go check it out. Uncanny Annie, skip. And then there was one other film we watched. We tried to watch, and that was Mother, but we didn't make it far in that one because it was,
Mother!
tell your children not to walk this way.
Tell your children not to turn this movie on.
That one was very, and it's weird because I enjoy some artistic films, and this one was definitely shooting for that artistic vibe. Which I guess all films are artistic, but
It was like over the top, like, we're trying to do something. And to understand this movie, you need to watch it 7 times and read a 17-page story on it. And also listen to the special features. And I'm not going to do that. If I don't fucking get the point after one watch, then you fucked up.
well,
You
yeah,
didn't do
and,
your job
I mean,
as a filmmaker and an artist.
I want to go back and kind of.
I think it's
rewatch
fine
it,
for
but-
you to rewatch a movie and discover more about that film.
Well,
I
we
think
didn't even
you
finish it.
should. But listen. I think you should discover more about that film. If your movie sucks to dicks on the first watch, I'm not going to rewatch it to discover more. I didn't even finish it because that movie was
I didn't
so
think
terrible.
it sucked. It was just very slow burn.
Yeah, it sucked dicks. I would like to watch Maniac now. I'd like to go upstairs and watch Maniac. That's what I want to do.
Well, you go do that. You go watch Maniac.
I'll just go watch more of The Walking Dead.
There was another film we watched besides that.
I know, but I can't remember what it was.
We did watch that interesting documentary on was it Thailand? It was like utterly horrifying.
I think it was Thailand.
Look it up.
Boys.
Where was the cave? Where was that cave at? That give it a goo, lambo.
I'm done podcasting.
That's the first thing that came to mind because Mark Norman's always telling Jamie, give it a goo, Jambo. So I just used lambo. Sorry.
Do not call me Lambo ever again.
I didn't even realize what I was putting
It was in
together.
Thailand, and I'm not going to even pretend that I can pronounce the name of the actual cave.
Yeah, it was 15 kids, right? Or 18?
12 members of the team and their 25-year-old assistant coach.
So
I want to
13.
know why that coach was in a cave with them.
I want to know.
And why nobody's questioning that.
Hang on. What happened to the coach?
He got saved too.
No.
Yes,
I
he
don't
did.
know. Bullshit. I don't remember them saying anything about the coach in that
Yeah,
documentary.
the coach they saved them all.
No. They
Well,
left
just-
his ass in there.
No, I just read it. It said he was rescued.
Maybe on that, but in the documentary that we watched,
They
it's
don't
got
they
live
don't real
footage. They
talk
don't
about
show-
him.
They don't show shit about the coach.
Yeah, what was he
They
doing
don't
with those kids in
he's-
that cave?
He's not on camera with any of the kids. They don't talk about his rescue. There was one person that they couldn't get out very well because they had to. I almost said euthanize them. They
did drug him.
Yeah, but what's the term? It's anesthesiology. Basically, they used
Mm-hmm.
a mixture of 2 drugs, Valium, and another one because
Mm-hmm.
they were afraid the kids, because they had already ran and you made a really good point about this. So
I'm full of those. I'm
this-
observant.
this cave is flooded, and it's been flooded for multiple days. And so they're doing this search and rescue, and everyone's worried about these kids. And
It's all over the fucking news.
the first group they come upon, they think they're the kids, and they're like, "Oh, it's just some workers."
And I'm like,
Lucy made the best point. She's like, "No one worried about where the workers were, and
nobody
one did.
reported them fucking
They
missing.
didn't. They didn't even know they were in that cave. They were like, "Who are these people?"
I told Marcus, I was like, if I had been missing in a cave and nobody even knew I was gone, I would come home and pack all my things, quit my job,
that
and
was
leave.
crazy. 'Cause
I'd be like, well, thanks for nothing, everybody. Like,
oh man,
you would have found my skeleton in a couple of years and been like, oh, you. What was your name?
Yeah, no joke. But I do not remember in the documentary them getting the coach out or any.
Okay, well, because
They
you're
probably
listen
got
to
him out, but they
this.
did not
But listen to this, okay? So they said that it was normal for the boys to be in there because it was their playground. But what 12-year-olds are playing on a playground with a 25-year-old? Explain me that.
I don't. That stuff happens all the time.
Yeah, it's called pedophile.
Group leaders. No, you can't call them that. What was
Persons attracted to minors.
Oh my God, that is like terrible. I gotta look up if that's actually a thing, but I heard that that's what they're being like. That not everybody are, but there is a small group of people that are pushing this like acronym. It's persons attracted to minors. No, it's pedophiles attracted to minors. Okay, we can keep the same PAM, but it's pedophiles.
Yeah.
It's not persons. But I don't think this guy's a pedophile. Like,
I
But-
guess. I do.
who knows? You know,
I do. I
I-
think so.
you don't hear anything about him.
No.
He was not. I don't.
We only heard about the boys.
That's right. I'm telling you,
I think it's suspicious that
I'm
he was
telling you,
playing in
they-
a cave with a bunch of boys. If
But
I
what-
was in a cave with a grown-up when I was a kid, that would be suspicious.
Well, no. So think about. Well, then again, I guess you could go to all the abuses of Boy Scouts with their leaders.
Or priests and their little, Marcus.
Yes. okay.
Leaders abuse children all the time.
Yeah, there are. Yes, they groom them, they abuse them. I don't know if this one guy could get away with taking 12 children into a cave and abusing all of them, but maybe I don't know. But I do think it's weird that the documentary didn't mention anything about him.
Because he took them all into a cave and abused them all.
But
It's several days.
here's
They were down there for several days. He was like, whose turn is it
several
now?
days. They were down there for weeks.
Whatever. Several days, couple weeks.
What was how long were they in there?
I don't know.
Give it a
They shouldn't be
go,
playing
Rainbow.
in caves. It's their own fault.
Well, here's what I was gonna say is that's not what I find weird playing in a cave, like whatever, because there's like cave systems here that people go to all the time. But that cave system is so immense and large. What were they doing that far back in this cave system
Their peepees were being touched.
in a time that they know is
17
monsoon
days.
season?
17.
Like they knew it was monsoon season. They knew that this cave flooded.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
why I'm like,
leader
why did we put so
is
much
like,
time and
let's
effort
go
into
to the
this?
very back of the cave, ha ha ha, where there's no way out of here once the water starts to rise. Like you think if you're and they did say that they frequented this cave quite often. You think you would check the weather, knowing that this cave floods. But I guess people all the time, you got people down in Zion's, Utah, and all those areas.
They look up at the sky and they're like,
well, they're
carry on.
It's usually unaware tourists, though. You don't really ever hear about Utahns getting caught in flash floods down there, but people from outside of Utah that go there, and they're like, oh, it's supposed to rain, big deal. It's like, that is a big deal in this area because the rain just fucking washes away to the lowest point and washes your ass away with it in those slot canyons. That would be terrifying. Have you ever seen one of those flash floods? It's bad.
that's what I would sound like.
Charlie's like, what? That was the extent of the movies we watched. So I don't think we watched anything
Charlie's
else.
like, Mommy, you're so stupid. You would never be done. Yeah, we did. We watched that Reanimator movie.
Oh, yeah, Reanimator.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Check it out.
It's all right.
Dude, I don't understand. Because one part of you will be like, that movie was so stupid. And then you like the dumbest movies ever. And then another part of you, like, I don't get it. Because you'll be like, that movie is so
I like
dumb.
what I like.
That's not a smart movie. And then it's like, you're like, I hate smart movies. I like the dumbest movies possible. Like, and The Reanimator is the perfect combination of dumb, fun, funny movie. And you're just like, it was all right. Like, dude, what?
I like my movies the way I like my Charlies.
What?
I got nothing in my brain. But also smart as hell.
None of the movies that you like are smart as hell.
You're telling me that Tourist Trap is an actually genius. Is that what you're saying?
I've never fought with you on Tourist Trap being a dumb movie. I think that's a terrifying movie, and I can see why you like it. But movies like, I don't know, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Your daddy's mean to me.
That's a dumb movie.
No, it's not. It's
Yes,
really
it is.
good.
It's a dumb cult movie that gets way too much credit.
You know what? You're right. Maniac doesn't get enough credit.
Maniac's another dumb. I don't hate Maniac, but it's dumb. It's like, whoa, you know. But it is cool.
It's
But
fucking
there are
fun.
other movies that, like, any of your cannibal movies are stupid.
You're uninvited to my get together then.
Oh, yes. Before we leave for this episode, we got to sing a happy birthday to Lacey because she turns 25 on Tuesday. And she's having a cannibal-themed birthday party on
It's not a big party. I'm only inviting
Saturday.
a couple people
And
because I don't want to get.
I am putting this episode out there with everyone. Everyone come. We're gonna pack the room. Just kidding. We're not packing the room. We're being reasonably responsible people with COVID Omicron.
I'm inviting like a couple of my
surging.
girlfriends, basically.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have gluten-free, pumpkin-flavored cannibal cake.
That doesn't sound cannibal at all. That sounds the least cannibal thing ever. You should probably tell someone you're eating like eyeballs and cream.
Well, when you see the dead lady on top of the cake, you'll get it. So
That's the other funny thing is you're recreating a scene from an iconic movie. And any horror movie fan is going to get this. Anyone outside of the horror community, and I mean the extreme horror community that knows what Cannibal Holocaust is and all these things, are going to think you're a crazy racist or you're a crazy, insane,
horrible person.
tribal cult leader or something. And Who knows? Because Cannibal Holocaust.
I will not be
fucking...
posting a photo of my cake.
No, I wouldn't.
So if you want to see it, too bad.
Let's put it this way: the guy who directed and wrote this movie, and I think we did an episode on Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah. You can go listen to that.
He was arrested.
Was arrested for this film, and Lacey is taking and redoing like the iconic scene from that film on a cake, which is a lady.
I always
on
wanted a Barbie cake. When I was a little girl, those were really popular, where the cakes were made to look like the dress of the Barbie.
Yeah, you know what you should have done is went and tried to get them to make it at Walmart.
Can you make this? It has to go through her vagina, out her mouth.
I think it's through her butt and out her mouth, or maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not getting real pretend.
But you could tell them it has.
Barbies don't even have nipples.
You have all of the things here at Walmart. You have Barbies over there. You can use a Lincoln log over there, and you have the cake here. Skewers.
I'm using a skewer. I bought one of those cheap Dollar Tree ones. I'll just poke right through.
No, you need like a Lincoln log, man.
No, I don't have a Lincoln log.
You need to go sharpen.
Are you gonna bake the cake?
No.
Then you don't get a say.
I don't want anything to do with this cake. I'm keeping as far away from this cake as possible because this can get you canceled. I'm interested to see what the people coming to the party say about the cake. Are you gonna have this film playing so it at least has some sort of background?
I was thinking about it.
You probably should, because if you don't, the people coming to the party are gonna be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
No, because
and then they're gonna be
the people that I've invited know me well enough to be like, "Yeah, that sounds like Lacey."
And then they're gonna watch this film and they're gonna be like, "You are really fucking."
And then we're gonna play Donner Dinner Party, and they're gonna be like, "Lacey is really fucked up," as we eat little smokies that are actually intestines.
And I'm surprised you liked this movie because there was actual animal deaths in it.
There was no dead dogs, so.
Was it a turtle?
Turtle and a monkey.
That's fucked up. Fuck that movie. PETA would have a heyday with this film.
I like cannibal movies because they disturb me. They're one of the only genres that actually like really leaves me bothered and freaked out later. That's why I like them. Lot like slashers. I'm like, eh.
That is the one thing with horror movies, though, that when you get into like horror movies outside your mainstream theater movies like Scream, Halloween, and things like that, you get more into the horror community. Everyone is kind of safe in the horror community. No one cancels anyone. No one says that's too extreme.
We're all looking at each other like, who's more fucked up in here?
Well, I mean, there are the extreme movies that people are like, what the
You can't
fuck?
tell me that people didn't get canceled for Cannibal Holocaust. They fucking arrested him for murder.
Yeah, in another country, not in America. But what I'm saying is you don't, like, the things that people cancel out there in mainstream, if they could only dabble in the extreme horror community, they'd cancel all of us. You know what I'm saying?
They would
we'd all be.
They would actually probably kill us.
But they wouldn't
be a
be able,
murderous mob.
They wouldn't be able to cancel us though, because no one in the mainstream horror or in the extreme horror community is rich or popular or anything, so no one gives a fuck.
We're all like, poor and lame.
Like, cancel that fucking Lacey bitch. She made a movie about cannibals. And they would be like, she's already canceled herself. She has like 10 people that have watched this. I was going to say something about... I totally lost it. Anyways, happy birthday, Lacey. You're going to be 25. That's a horror show in itself.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to...
I'm trying to...
It's all downhill from here. My brain's fully developed, so I'm just going to start to rot. So.
You already rotted your developing brain by watching horror movies, you sick person.
You sick son of a bitch.
You guys have a great night.